Morning. It's about 9:30 in the morning on Monday morning. So I'm just gonna get packed up here. We're gonna head over to Rio Grande, help with the cow calving. But first, we gotta feed these chucks. Now, you'll remember yesterday we started work on the Mouse Miracle Garden. We got 2 rows of potatoes in. The rest of it's just rototilled up, not in any kind of order. There's no rows done, but there's a whole bunch of organic material in there that I need processed. Who can do that for me? Because I don't have time. Any volunteers? Any volunteers? That's right. We're gonna put the chickens to work. We're gonna take all their feed. See, they're pretty trained with the bucket. They know what's happening here. Get them over here to the Mouse Miracle Garden. Feed them in there. They can work and till up, pick all that organic material out of there, so I don't have to. Tony's over there spazzing out because there's no Asiago ranch dressing. So now these guys can work in here all day long. I'm not worried about them taking down any of the hilled up areas because the potatoes are buried, 4 inches below grade. So even if they work through those, work through the beds where it's all hilled up and they knock it down flat, they're still not going to expose any potatoes because nothing's grown up yet. So get to work, girls. Well, back from Rio Grande now. Just gonna run out. Charlotte's taking a nap, so I'm just gonna run out to the field and get some straw mulch from where the bulls have bedded down for the winter time. Freaking dogs would ever move out of the way. Get out of here. They'd run right in front of the tractor. It's a wonder I haven't run one over yet. Here, this is our main garden. So we've got pumpkins right up front here, watermelon, squash, tomatoes, Brussels sprout, not Brussels sprouts, what is this? Broccoli? I think that's broccoli. And then Swiss chard, onions, cucumbers, zucchini. Over here we got corn, more onions, beets, parsnips, carrots, lots of carrots, holy man. A couple of things that are not marked, so that's gonna be a surprise. 2 rows of peas, and then just potatoes for days over here. So very similar to how we laid the mulch in here, just to promote that weed barrier. I'm gonna run out to the field and get some of this straw, bring it back in. Okay, got our straw mulch from the bedding area. Why straw mulch? Well, take a look at this stuff. Not only does it hold a ton of moisture, so it's really good for areas with drainage issues. You can maintain good drainage through it, but it also holds moisture for times when it's dry. But it also holds a ton of nutrients. Bulls have been laying manure in this all winter long. And straw is really good for balancing pH, so this is gonna work fantastic as mulch in here. Whereas wood chips, on the other hand, wood chips undoubtedly are fantastic for laying down as mulch, creating an oxygen barrier, reducing photosynthesis. What they do though is they alter the pH of the soil. And so if you're gonna grow in an area with wood chips, you got to be really careful what you're going to try and grow there. So you might need things like tomatoes or blueberries, things that are acid rich. Potatoes generally don't like acid too much. So one other issue with wood chips, again, very good for acidic loving plants and around trees and things like that. But in the garden area, think about what happens when you add wood chips. What happens to the soil? Well, if you ever turned it over where you've got wood chips, you notice you get that really dark black soil. So every gardener thinks they want, right? Wrong. So this is carbon-rich soil. Carbon has to be balanced with nitrogen. So that's where the straw comes in, the straw and the manure. So these are your making sure you got a good green and brown mix when you're layering this stuff onto the soil, so that you're not just carbon heavy and then there's literally no nutrients that your plants can take advantage of. With this straw, one other advantage is that it's readily available. Like, it's literally everywhere. In some forums they say, well, you can get this stuff for free. So I would think dry straw, like off the bale, probably not going to get that for free. I don't know too many farmers that would put diesel in their tractor and combines and whatnot and go ahead and just give you this stuff for free. But the wet straw, imagine every spring you go to a farmer and say, hey, can I come in with a pitchfork and can I clean your barn out? Fill your boots, fill your wheelbarrow, fill your truck, give her, right? Why wouldn't you? the other thing with the wet straw, this is stuff that's laden with manure and it's moist. So when you pack it down in here, it's not going to blow away the first time the wind comes by. It's going to be nice, compacted from walking on it, and it's going to immediately provide a barrier, like a weed barrier, as well as an oxygen barrier to prevent those weeds from coming up. It's going to provide a nutrient-dense blanket that when it rains, you'll have a slow release system for those nutrients to be released into the soil. And it's also, get this, it's also going to make sure that you have pretty much zero water erosion coming through your garden area. So all those seeds that you just planted that you paid, you know, good money or hard-earned money for, they're going to be well protected. So of course, I'm telling you this stuff, but I have no idea if anything's actually going to grow here or not. So, but I mean, this was a barren piece of land, and so even if we grow weeds, they're going to be the most lush, well-nourished weeds ever, and probably going to have to choke them down with a little bit of ranch dressing just to save my pride. So mulching is all done here, and now we just got to plant a few daffodil bulbs. Hey Scout, how are you? So to keep this in context here, there's many different kinds of mulch, right? There's bark mulch, there's stone mulch, there's plastic mulch, there's straw, there's hay, there's all kinds of things. We've actually used hay mulch in between our trees because it's full of seeds, and so that those seeds are now gonna germinate and they'll become cover crop. In here, we don't want this to happen. Scout, get out of here, goofball. We want this to be nice and clean and a good place to grow the vegetables. So not going to argue one way or another for what the best type of mulch is, because there's not really one answer. It's all based on the application. But for potatoes, straw mulch all the way. Why is that? Well, because it's cheap, it's readily available, it's nutrient dense, it's exactly what you need. And don't forget the potato from the 1940s, right? How much more nutrients were there in the 1940s in a potato? Tons more. That's because we were growing our own potatoes. We weren't commercially growing them with intensive farming practices. We were growing them in garden plots, just like this, for our own use. Are you gonna feed the sheep, Charlotte? Yeah? You're gonna give them some snacks? Yum yums. Oh, yummy. Charlotte, what are those? Are those baby chickens? Think they're enjoying their salad? That chicken? Doris, you better get your ass home. All the other chickens left hours ago. You missed the bus, girl. Don't worry, we'll walk you home. Yeah, it's that way. Keep going. I know it's fun here, but no, you can't stay here. You'll get eaten by coyotes. Go back to the chicken coop. Go on, Doris. Come on, Doris, you're almost home. There. You made it. Good job. Well, if the signs are to be believed, I'd say we've got only a couple of minutes before it rains, so I'm gonna go ahead and get Charlotte inside here and make us some supper. Yes, I'll make you some tea as well, okay? And some dessert. Yeah. So, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you have a fantastic night, and we'll see you tomorrow.